Clean hands for the second wash of watercolor, getting some more colors and mixing them. Well, I'm gonna take gumboge and I'm gonna take rose madder, and then I'm going to take vermilion, a dash of vermilion. All of these have got to be just traces of color to create the second layer. And here we go. Well, hello and welcome back again. And for the third wash, we are going to lay a layer of color once again. And this girl, as we have named it as Sapna, as it looks a little awkward to keep on saying reference pic. So we have just named her as Sapna, and let's move further. And for that, for a third layer of paints, I'm going to choose this is the gumboge, this is burnt sienna, and this is cadmium orange. We'll take a little of every pigment and then try to mix well to come up to this level. The tone and the color we have here on the cheeks, then here on the chin, then on the neck, a little darker value here, and then proceed accordingly. And it's going to be once again time lapse, because otherwise the length of video will be too long and you won't be able to watch it. So let's move further. So we have to be careful. There are no hard edges. Well, there are no hard edges, and we merge these edges very well with the boundaries of other pigments, the layers we have to create. We definitely will have to go into a fourth wash because it's now all wet. The left side of Sapna is wet, and we will work further with the right side of her face and try to bring out more features, laying with more value of color. So let's proceed. Well, as it is my previous wash is dry now, I'm ready to work whether I want to work wet on wet or wet on dry. Well, in some places, portrait facilitates me if I will go wet on wet, and in certain areas, I'll go wet on dry. But then right now, I'll be taking a dig at the eyes, brows, and lips, leaving finer details of face to complete later on. Let's see how vivid it comes. And for eyes, as it is, if we see the picture, just see the picture, if we blow it up, we see eyes, the eyelashes and the eyes look as if they are black. But in real existence, nobody's hair is black. Nobody's hair is black. Even though I can see some strands here, some dyed hair, but then even the natural color of hair is not black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix two shades. One is violet, a little of violet, and then a little of burnt sienna. I'll just work it out, and I won't be laying a intense layer, but only a light layer just to see how the features come out. And for lips, I'll be going in for, say, a little of rose madder, maybe vermilion, a little of vermilion, and a little of burnt sienna. So let's go for it. And once again, we'll go into time lapse because otherwise it's going to be hours and hours of watching and you'll be bored down. Well, this is another sting now here, and the work is completely dry now. For another wash, we will sit with for another wash, and this time we'll mainly focus on eyes, brows. We'll focus on highlighting the catch light in the eyes, even though there is hardly any catch light in the eyes. There's just a slight of catch light, and then we will try to apply pigment here and suggest some eyelashes here. Then we will also do the eye crease, the crease here, and create some depth. And also, if time permits, we will go in for lips and teeth again, because this is the primary wash for lips. So let's begin the journey. And once again, it's going to be time lapse, because otherwise it's going to take a lot of time. So to this shade of violet and burnt sienna, I'll add a little of gamboge so that I'll make it a little warmer. I'll make this shade a little warmer and bring out the best in eyes and brows. So let's begin the time lapse. So hello everyone, welcome back, and this is another day. And the first thing I would like to check whether my work is dry or not. Well, I'll like to touch it from the back of my hand, and it is totally dry. I don't see any dampness on the paper. And now is the thing to plan. What's the next step? What we are gonna do now? तो इसमें जो है देयर आर लॉट ऑफ शॉर्ट कमिंग्स एज इट, मतलब डिटेल अभी उभर के नहीं आई है, और ख़ास तौर से दीज ब्रोज, आइज, लिप्स, एंड इन लिप्स आई कैन सी देयर इज मोर कर्वेचर हियर इन द लिप and here is less curvature. I need to give more curvature to the lips and then extend the crease of this lip here, the mouth. And then of course I'd like to go in for hair, make some strands of hair, and for that I'll use this mechanical pencil Grapho Gear 1000. It is a 0.3 mm pencil. 0.3 mm is just 1/3 of 1 mm, so it's actually used in making portraits, pencil portraits, to do some precision works. But then sometimes you can switch over in doing some other work also in the field of art, like I sometimes do enhance things while doing watercolor portraits and all that. And at times I do give a jab on eyes as well to make them precise and enhance the features. So we know the plan now. We have to go in for lips, we have to go in for eyes, brows, hair. This is the plan of the day. And once again, it's going to be time lapse otherwise. Well, the main aim and the function of putting these lines in pencil is to remind myself to enhance these strands of hair, because she has dyed her hair and there are different colors in her hair, and there are some strands on which there is sunlight falling directly on those strands, and they are enhancing the shade of those strands. So this is it, why I kept it like this, just to remind myself while doing it, so that I lighten the colors and I give a different wash to this hair. And same is the case with the hair here. और यहाँ जो बाल हैं, यहाँ थोड़े से अंदर की तरफ, चूँकि साइड यहाँ से एंगल से लाइट आ रही है, तो this will be a lighter portion and this will be a darker value here. This will be a darker value, of course. Afterwards we can once again use our Grapho Gear pencil and we can enhance the quality. And as it is, ये सारा portion जो है ये darker value में जाएगा. And but primarily I think let's do something about eyes and lips. So we begin with, once again, with eyes. Go in for this hair, and for that we have to ensure that our work is dry, so that we don't interfere with or spoil with the previous work. Well, it's dry, as I can see from the back of my hand. And why I see from the back of my hand, because I have told you the inside of a hand is always having secretions of oil, and if we touch our portrait or the paper then it gives a different shape to that color, and possibly it's very difficult to erase that spot of oil. Well, anyway, and for that we will prepare shades, a few shades like the dye dyed here, and then of course some darker values of here, and in between. And to enhance this here, the strands here, we need to have a pigment in excess of what we actually require, because if we are short of pigment and the shade we are making and we fall short of it, maybe we are not able to make it again. So let's make the shades which we require in excess of what we actually want. And then of course we have to take care that we mix them here on paper. Whatever shades we are doing, we are mixing them on paper, not on the palette itself, because it gives a different tone, and we are going to do wet on dry. This is going to be dry, and we are going to do wet on dry, and let's see how it comes out. So friends, I'm almost done, but then I still want some improvement in this portrait, and I've been using mainly watercolors, and I want to show you something special. Well, I have some watercolors. These are in pencils, dry watercolors. So this watercolor, if applied anywhere, I have option. Well, if I want to do this watercolor, if I paint it somewhere, if I put the pigment somewhere, I have an option of wetting it after I draw it somewhere, or I leave it dry. I have two options. I leave it as dry as it is, like I have taken out a shade from here, like this is a shade. If I draw lines here, I'll show you another one. Now I'm drawing these lines, but then I have an option. If I want to leave it like that, it's okay. But if I want to change it into a watery kind of a thing, then I simply have to apply a brush having water in it, a simple brush, maybe a rigger brush as I have shown you, one like this, or maybe another like a fine liner brush. This can do, a fine liner brush, this is okay. But then let's see how the effect comes. So what we will do is we will once again go in for time lapse. Please welcome. Well, I have finished my watercolor and watercolor from pencils. I applied watercolor through pencils, dry watercolor. Now, what I'll be doing is, this is my rigger brush. Now I'll be applying only water on these strands. Only water. And these strands will come alive. You can see for yourself. It gives a totally different texture. And of course, this is the moment of patience. You got to have a lot of patience, and just in case if you lose patience, then you won't be able to do it. Because portrait making, or for that matter, any work in the world, unless we don't have patience, we won't be able to do things. And somehow this girl consistently smiling on me, smiling at me rather, and I don't know whether this is an artificial intelligence picture or maybe the actual one, and lucky one to be on my drawing board. See how these strands are coming alive. As I put simple water on these strands, the hair is coming alive. Different techniques to be put forth, and I am hoping that you are enjoying my work, and of course seeing it in full, because if you watch these videos in continuity, then I'm sure you'll pick up something really great to help you out, and so that it will make your journey so beautiful and so lustrous